Today we are going to discuss the conflict that would go on to help shape the clans and wars in the SM community for years to come. HZ versus the Alliance. To best understand this war, you need to understand how SM was in this time period. In early to mid-2019 the SM community was much more active on SM. You could always find most of the community on SM1, the main SM at this time. Naturally this made clan play much more dynamic. If your clan or you yourself fell into an unpopular position in the community you could be exiled from SM1 by being constantly attacked. Clans themselves were different in this time as well. They were more like gangs on SM1 that also controlled other SM. For example, the clan BW resided on SM1 mostly, but controlled SM21 as well. To make a long story short, the main clans in SM1 at this time were BW, HZ, and Nova. Blackheart was more or less the king of SM1. Smokey, the leader of BW, and Hydzilla, the leader of HZ came to the conclusion Blackheart was manipulating the clans of SM1 and pitting them against each other for his own enjoyment. Whether or not that conclusion was correct, Smokey and Hydzilla formed a plan to betray Blackheart and remove him from SM1 completely. Smokey convinced Hydzilla to join this plan by showing him evidence of Blackheart attacking HZ members. Nova would also join this pact. The night of the betrayal came. Clan members from HZ, BW, and Nova attacked Blackheart and his friends to begin purging them from SM1. The community as a whole sided with Blackheart, as he was the most known player at the time and victim of a vicious betrayal. Blackheart was shocked that his good friend Hydzilla had betrayed him with the others. Initially the betrayal went well for Hydzilla and Smokey. Blackheart and friends were caught completely off guard. In the first night though, the alliance showed cracks. Nova, fearing being outcasted by the community, started seeking to drop out of the war. Things took a turn for the worse for Hydzilla after a dispute between him and Smokey led to the breakup of their alliance. Smokey would take BW and Nova, and join Blackheart's side. Hydzilla, seeing he was falling into a bad place, quickly tried to make peace with Blackheart. He would not accept peace with Hydzilla though. The sides were set and there were small skirmishes across various SM between HZ and Alliance forces. HZ were able to defeat Nova and BW in two stunning battles known as the Cave Battle and the Battle of SM3. SM3 was where Smokey was trying to recruit the Spanish population. To Hydzilla it was clear these battles could go on between HZ and the Alliance forever. So he offered to Blackheart that both sides get everything they have, and have one final battle to end the war on a selected date agreed upon by both sides. Blackheart would agree and the final battle would happen on SM1, on June 15, 2019. However, on the day of the war, the sheer amount of players that showed up for the war would overload the server, crashing SM1, then SM3. SM21 would hold the war. The alliance would overwhelm HZ and allies completely. Hydzilla, being a proud and noble warrior, would not give up. The alliance had one of HZ members betray from the inside, but Hydzilla, foreseeing he would be the primary target of the entire alliance, had deployed a decoy Hydzilla, while the real Hydzilla was Hydzilla HZ. The traitor fell for the trick and took out the decoy. The battle would rage on for 3 days and 3 nights until Hydzilla was finally defeated. Legend has it that it took 15 players to take him on alone. Hydzilla would surrender and HZ would be exiled to SM21, not allowed to return to SM1. The alliance led by Blackheart totally ruled SM and divided servers up across member clans. It seemed like peace had returned to SM. until a player known as Lil Captain Mick, or known today as Rathorian, would start another war with the Alliance because he was upset how HZ was treated after the war. Hydzilla had no choice but to go back to war with Blackheart and the Alliance. This took place on SM1, 1 week after the end of the last war and only lasted 1 day. HZ started off well, killing Blackheart 2 times. However, HZ was not able to keep up this momentum and was starting to be overwhelmed by the Alliance again. Mick, V10, and HZ would be defeated after several hours of fighting. It is said the fallen warriors of this battle still haunt SM1 to this day. The Alliance would celebrate victory, although it would not last long as the Alliance would have to face a new threat. The Alliance would also break up shortly after and fight amongst itself. After suffering the 2 largest defeats in SM history, HZ would collapse, having lost the majority of its members. Hydzilla would go on to repair relations with the community and Blackheart. BW, despite betraying Blackheart, had redeemed itself for the time being, and would go on to become the largest clan of this era. Blackheart had solidified his position as king of this era, and king of SM 2.0 altogether. The war had set up the basic framework for clans and wars on Lifeboat survival mode, which clans still follow to this day. The war having reached every corner of SM at this time, it would bring a player known as KLZ into the community, forever changing it.